Thragg is the main antagonist of Invincible and the most powerful Viltrumite. He is the ruler of the Viltrum Empire, serving as Grand Regent since the death of the first Emperor Argal by Thetis, the first rebel against the tyrant Viltrum Empire, and the leader of the coalition of planets. Thragg is determined to destroy Thetis and his coalition, and to avenge the death of Argal, whom Thragg keeps his skull to remind him of his revenge. The battle between the coalition on one hand and Thragg and his Viltrumite generals on the other shows how powerful Thragg truly is. He tanks Mark Grayson's punch and knocks him away, before easily handling Oliver. Thragg blocks Oliver's punch and dismembers his arm while breaking his jaw, nearly killing him in the process. Enraged, Mark attacks Thragg and pounds on him, making him bleed. Thragg, who willingly allows Mark to hit him, says that even Conquest fears him. Mark hits Thragg again, remarking that he killed Conquest and will kill Thragg as well. Knowing that Thragg is too powerful to defeat in a fistfight, Thetis decides to destroy planet Viltrum. He tells Space Racer to fire his indestructible blasts at the planet, while Thetis himself, Mark and his father Nolan, fly with great speed in the direction of the blast shot and get into it, forming what seems to be an unstoppable missile charged with insane force. They hit planet Viltrum and destroy it, like cutting through a cake. The impact of their attack destroys everything on the planet, while they emerge from the other side unscratched. Enraged upon seeing what happened to Viltrum, Thragg attacks Thetis and decapitates him, remarking that Argal is finally avenged, then smashes Thetis' skull, saying that he won't be missed. Thragg then attacks Mark and punches him, but Mark fights back and punches Thragg, who blocks the punch with his head, before pounding on Mark and squeezing his head, telling him that his death won't be enough to avenge Viltrum's destruction. Nolan, however, interferes and saves Mark from Thragg's punishment, but Thragg easily overpowers him and is about to punish him the way he punished Mark, but Battle Beast attacks Thragg, deeming him a worthy adversary. Thragg tosses Battle Beast away with great force that scatters the fighters around. Mark then asks Nolan if there's a way to beat Thragg, and Nolan says that they simply can't, because in order to be made regent, Thragg was trained from birth, tempered to be the strongest Viltrumite, and educated in all manners of combat. Thragg attacks again, remarking that Nolan spoke the truth. He grabs them both from the neck with great force that they can't even break free despite all their might. Nolan then kicks Thragg and frees Mark, telling him to run. Mark flies away with great speed, but Thragg catches up and pounds on him again, and before delivering the final blow, Nolan attacks again, forcing Thragg to impale him with one single blow, before tossing him away. Thragg is about to kill Mark, but finally decides to spare his life, remarking that he needs all the Viltrumites to rebuild his empire. General Craig doesn't accept that, and says that they only need the loyal Viltrumites before trying to finish Mark. But Thragg stops him and retreats with his generals to their warship, leaving Mark and Nolan floating in space. Later on, Thragg appears to Mark and Nolan on Earth, revealing that the remaining Viltrumites came to Earth after the destruction of Viltrum. Mark loses his temper and hits Thragg, who easily stops him, remarking that he has done nothing to the planet, and that if Mark decides to fight, the Viltrumites will destroy Earth, and offers to talk instead. Thragg states that the Viltrumites will take Earth peacefully, by living among humans who will not know their true identity. They will interbreed with them, replenishing their ranks. He also says that they will not interfere with human events and will never attack them, but will not help them either. Mark refuses at first, but imagines what will happen to Earth if he decides to fight, and reluctantly accepts. Thragg thanks the duo for ensuring Viltrumite's survival and leaves, ending the Viltrumite War. Later on, Mark becomes severely affected after he is accidentally exposed to the Scourge virus, which Alan the alien was planning to dispense on Earth to kill the Viltrumites. Thragg takes Mark into the Viltrumite quarantine to take care of him, but the scientist in charge informs him that after running Mark's DNA, he finds that he is the grandson of Lord Argal, which makes Nolan the rightful heir, and the true leader of the Viltrumites instead of Thragg, who becomes enraged upon knowing that and kills the scientist. Later on, Thragg decides to kill Mark, remarking that he has acted as a Grand Regent for thousands of years and has been looking for the lost son of Argal to place him on the throne of Viltrum, but he will never yield his position to traitors like Mark and Nolan. Thragg then tries to suffocate Mark when he gets interrupted by Dinosaurus hacking and gaining access to his quarters. The beast, who can easily damage other Viltrumites, unleashes a surprise attack on Thragg, only to break his claws in doing so. Dinosaurus then reveals that he got a system monitoring his heart rate, and as it rises, it will set off a series of explosions inside the warship. As the bombs start to explode, Dinosaurus asks Thragg why he wants to kill Mark, but Thragg doesn't answer and pummels Dinosaurus before tossing him away. The beast attacks again, trying to bite Thragg, but he shatters all his teeth in the process. Thragg breaks Dinosaurus' jaw, then flies away to try to fix the explosion, leaving Dinosaurus to carry Mark away and to leave the ship. Later on, Thragg locates Nolan and his wife Debbie on the moon and attacks them, determined to protect his position as the ruler of Viltrum by killing Nolan, the son of Argal. Thragg then reveals the truth to Nolan, remarking that he will never allow him to take his throne. But Nolan fights back and hits Thragg, telling him that he doesn't care if he is the heir and doesn't want to be the ruler of the Viltrumites. Thragg says that this doesn't matter at all, because he can't let anyone know the truth. He then pounds on Nolan and badly beats him, reminding him of what he did to the Viltrum Empire. But before delivering the final blow, the Viltrumite generals stop him and discover the truth Thragg was trying to hide. They pound on him, vowing to kill him for his betrayal, but Nolan orders them to stop and spares Thragg's life, and the Viltrumites obey the orders of their new leader. Changing the brutal ways of Viltrumites and announcing that the days of war and enslavement are gone forever, Nolan decides not to kill Thragg, and chooses to exile him instead, wishing him to see Viltrumites thriving under his new rule, before releasing him. Later on, Thragg occupies planet Thraxa and impregnates several Thraxan women in order to create Thraxan and Viltrumite hybrids to invade the universe. The coalition then locates Thragg and tasks Battlebeast to kill him. The beast lands on Thraxa to fight Thragg, who confronts Battlebeast and tells him that he already beat him easily. Their confrontation, however, is interrupted by the arrival of the Ragnars, who were released to ensure killing Thragg. The Ragnars are savage alien beasts, and one of the few species in the galaxy known to be able to injure and kill Viltrumites. They attack Thragg, forcing Battlebeast to assist him, but Thragg gets disemboweled by one of them, causing Battlebeast to disembowel himself in order to make their fight even, and engages Thragg in a fierce battle which lasts for several days, as stated by Alan, the alien himself. Thragg finally kills Battlebeast, but before he dies, he thanks Thragg for giving him the battle he was seeking. Thragg then crushes the beast's heart, then succumbs to his injuries and loses consciousness. Years later, and after his children have reached adolescence, Thragg orders his son and daughter, Onan and Ursal, to kill Mark and his family. Thragg's children attack Mark, his wife Eve and his daughter Terra, as Thragg ordered them to do. The battle escalates until Thragg interferes and is about to kill Terra, when Oliver, who was acting as a double agent for Thragg, arrives and prevents him from doing that. Thragg then impales Oliver and kills him in front of Terra. In return, Mark holds Onan hostage and demands that Thragg let Terra go, but Thragg refuses, forcing Mark to kill Onan before attacking Thragg, who easily overpowers Mark and rips him in half, while Ursal attacks Eve and seemingly kills her. Thragg and Ursal leave Terra to die alone. Eve then unlocks her full power and heals herself and Mark, but can't heal Oliver. Thragg then continues his conquest, taking over more planets and causing more deaths. Space Tracer then locates Thragg's central base and attacks it, only to be followed by Mark, Eve, Nolan, and Alan. Thragg sends his children to fight Mark, but they end up getting splattered as he proves too strong for them, showing that Thragg didn't really care about his children, and thought of them as mere weapons to be used to spread his rule. During the final battle, Nolan engages Thragg and tries his best to stop him, but Thragg proves too powerful for Nolan to defeat, breaking both his arms. Mark then tries to stop Thragg from hurting Nolan further, but Thragg responds by grabbing him and throwing him away. Thragg then returns to Nolan, who manages to headbutt him, hoping that this would slow him down. Thragg, however, delivers his killing blow, but Nolan makes a quick move to keep Thragg's hand from hitting his heart. Thragg then swipes through Nolan's body, tearing his heart out and leaving him for dead. Furious with what he just witnessed, Mark charges at Thragg, who throws him away while calling his children for assistance, and starts using them as projectiles by throwing them at Mark, but this causes them to splatter on him. Mark then grabs Thragg and pulls them both into the sun, which starts burning their bodies as they fight. Mark questions Thragg's motivation, and Thragg says that it is all about revenge for what Mark's bloodline did to stop him from claiming the empire he deserved to rule. The battle rages between the two, with Mark determined to kill Thragg, even if this kills him too. Mark then gains the upper hand when one of Robot's armors arrives and attaches itself to him, giving him a few moments of protection from the searing heat, while Thragg continues to burn. With their fight getting more intense, the lava ends up melting the armor Mark is wearing. Thragg, having sustained more damage than his opponent, breaks both of Mark's arms in a fit of rage and desperation. Mark, however, reacts quickly, and finally kills Thragg by ripping his throat out with his teeth. After that, Mark feels he is prepared to die in peace, only for Alan to show up and carry him to safety, leaving Thragg's corpse behind to be consumed by the sun, ending his tyranny once and for all. With Thragg now dead, the Viltrumites can finally move forward and become a force for good in the universe, under the leadership of Mark Grayson. So that was all about Grand Regent Thragg, the most powerful Viltrumite, who possesses vast superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, endurance, healing, and insane combat skills. This monster is very powerful and ruthless, and would give any superhero a run for his money, including Superman himself. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.